Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a new Direction podcast. On today's episode, we'll be talking briefly on the issue of help. And as usual, we always say that the issues we bring to you are as it relates to the concept of the spirit as against the ideology of men. So when we talk about help, it's no different because we as men have our idea as it relates to help. And there is what help actually means as it relates to the Spirit of God who introduced everything. We also have a video which we'll be playing down the line as our discussion progresses. But firstly, we would get to let you guys know from our own perspective what help actually is. So discussing this issue, may I have Brother Savior?
Good morning.
I have Sister Yuti.
Good morning to you all.
We have Brother Kufre.
Good morning.
We also have Sister Adugo.
Good morning.
And I myself am Brother David. So let's get into what we have. We are talking about help.
Yes.
And usually we always try to get into our discussions from what we are used to as men. Mm-hmm. That's what we know as men.
Yes.
Before we get into what the spirits or the concept of the spirit actually is.
Yes.
Because you can't start from where you don't know. You have to start from somewhere. So we are starting from where we are familiar with.
Yes.
The ideas, the ideas
So
of men.
Yes.
when we talk about so when we talk about help, the idea about help is simply assistance you give
one
to somebody,
another.
or
Yes.
it's assistance you get from somebody, or basically assistance between
Both
or for
parties.
one person or another or something like that. Basically,
Yes.
that's what
We
the
know.
idea of help is as it relates to
Men.
men.
Yes, women.
That's if I find myself in a situation, someone who is on at hand to get me out of it is rendering help.
Yes.
And is a helper.
And he is my helper in that situation.
Yes.
So, and it's vice versa. A person can find himself in any situation, and
You will
I
be
happen
the
to be
helper.
the one who is in a position to
Help.
To assist the person.
in that sense of
Both.
what we as men know help to be.
Yes.
To get him out of that situation.
Yes.
That's what we have described as help.
Yes.
But it's still us that have said, we are all of us say that help can only come from God.
Yes.
So understanding that help can only come from God, though we just say it with our lips that help can only come from God, but that paints a picture that is clear enough for anyone who is seeing per se as it relates to the things of the spirit should know and understand that having said that help can only come from God. That means what we do in relations with ourselves and target to be help isn't help
Yes.
and cannot be help and cannot yield the kind of solution that help which you have attributed to God can bring.
Yes.
I think that is clear enough for anybody to understand. So what I would like to ask, so we can get to talk amongst ourselves. That's before now. I'm putting this out now to all of us. Well, I've talked about what I know about help, but I'm putting it out to the four of us now, or the four of you rather. That before now, that's before your understanding of what you know help to be now, as a result of this source you have encountered. Yeah. What was your experience with help like? That's what did you understand help, and how was your relationship with this thing we call help, the way we do it?
You see, before now in our world, as you asked, the way I know help to be, as you stated, that help can only comes from God. The way I see it before now is that whatsoever that is in a situation that I am, so it's God that will provide the person that will come and assist me out of it. So in that case, I see the person as help that has come from God. Yeah. But in a real sense, that is man who has come to render assistance. That's not God. Except you see that person is God. You understand? But in this case, help has to be God, has to come from God, and God has to be the helper. So there's no way you can take that kind of help to be the help of God, because even the person that comes to help you, it may still turn out to be in a different situation that will need you. Before now you see the person as your helper, you need you to go and rescue the person, to see that there's no help with man, but rather help is with God. It is only God that has help that can settle all of us.
What I was actually asking is not what you know about help now, what you understand about help now. I mean, before now, what did you understand help to be? That's what I'm asking. But I listened to what you said. It didn't really satisfy that question I asked, in that sense of what you knew help to be before now.
So that's why
From what she's saying, I think I got the part before she added what she just added, because she said that before now, what she's not understand as help is that, like when you are having a challenge or whatever situation that you are into, somebody appear and assist you, give you an assistance. That's what she said.
Yes.
But having come to understand that the person that is giving you the assistance is just a man.
Yes.
So if we believe that help is supposed to come from God, it means the person that is helping you or giving you that assistance supposed to be God.
Yes.
That's what I got from what she's saying. But
Yes.
like you said, it's just something to make somebody understand well, to put it clear. Because in our world, what we call help, we see it as an assistance that somebody gives to you. But if you look at our world today and see the experience that we have and what we go through and the kind of people we have, there are a lot of people that have people, or a lot of us that have people who can assist you in anything you want to do in this life.
Yes.
They can give you assistance. That is what we call help. They give you assistance to whatever challenge that you have. But you see that even with that, along the line, you still cry for God for help.
Yes.
So it shows that human assistance cannot be helped.
Yes.
That's because nothing we do is forever.
I'm saying this because if you look at it, there are people that you have or people have that can give them 10 million naira right now.
If they are
in a situation that they have that need 1 million naira.
Yes.
They give them 10 million. So that is to say they have helped them. And you see us who go to denomination and testify that,
God,
I have a challenge. So person has helped me. Or God has sent help to me.
Yes.
It means the God that has sent help to you, means the God has provided somebody which now come and help you. But if God is the one that help you or provide a means of helping you, that God cannot be in the sky. That God cannot be imaginary figure that you can't see.
Yes.
You see, those are the challenges we have in our world today. That is why help is not assistance. Help is not assist me in the things I do. That is not help.
No.
So what actually is help?
Help is God himself. And the mystery that surrounds the help of God is not just assistance in the things you do. Because God will never come to give you assistance in the things you do.
Yes.
But rather come to remove you from the things you have been doing.
Yes.
In order to show you what you want you to do.
Yes.
Now, if you see the human life that we live, okay, let's say you are supposed to marry, what we call marriage, and you do not have money. I've come across somebody that tell me, Kufra, if you want to marry, tell me today, I'll give you help. That is, I will assist you to make sure I give you money to marry. For us, that is help. I will even open business for you. I will open, when after you are married, I will open something for you to do with your wife, to use and survive. For us, that is help. But you see, first, the marriage that the person wants to pay for you is contrary to the principle of the Creator.
Yes.
Can you call that help?
No.
No.
Are you seeing that?
Yes.
Now, the business is going to open for you to buy and sell. It's also contrary to the principle of the Creator.
Yes.
You see our help? That is why whatever assistance that somebody give to you, which you call help, you see that it's piloting that road of destruction.
Yes.
So we cannot call that help.
Yes.
I'm saying this because a lot of people out there also understand this thing we are talking about.
Yes.
They know that help cannot be human assistance. If help to be human assistance, I can assure you, we will not be crying anymore.
Yes.
Because there are people who can go up and help a lot of people.
Yes.
But that's what we see as help. So I'm saying that help is that personality of God. When he appears, he himself is help. So when he appears, whatever path is going to put you through, and you follow it, introduce help to you.
Yes.
Remove you from the destructive way you have been going, unaware.
Yes.
All of us as men. So when we say help coming from God, you see that path that he brings gives you a protection that nothing can harm you.
So basically, there's a picture I'm getting from what you have been saying, and it's like this: that help is not assistance. Anybody listening to us might think we are playing with words, but we are not playing with words, because we have always said here that words were introduced by the Spirit of the Lord,
Yes.
and He alone reserves all rights to explain, to define, to interpret whatever form of analysis or dissecting He has to do to words. He alone reserves all the rights to do it. So when we are talking about help and talking about assistance, we are not playing with the words. That's because words have their functions. They are not just something you try to use other words to explain or describe. Words, what describe words as it relates to their functions, are the exhibitions that those words carry out in practical terms. So when we are talking about help and assistance, what I'm getting from what you have said is that what we as men have called help is actually assistance. That's what we have defined help to be, is actually assistance.
Let me bring something in before you close up that. I want to share an experience for somebody to listen. I remember once I was asked, I was sent, let me use that word, to a man. And what I was sent for was to go and inquire from that person if there can be, if he has something like a kind of a bus, it's a vehicle, a bus that we can use for at least some movement to touch some person that need our attention, based on the new foundation that has come to establish on how humanity can be saved. And I went there, he asked me, young man, how can I help you? I quickly respond that you can't help me. For me, it was like, no, why do you say that? I just say you can't help me. First, to correct that impression. But before I finished with him, that was when he now said that no wonder you said I can't help you. I was the one that went to him for an inquiry for a vehicle that he can assist by giving us if he has. So for us as human, that is help I'm going to look for from him. Well, I said it straight to him. You can't help me. Do you understand?
Yes.
For us now, that statement is embarrassing. It's an insult. But after I finished with him, he could understand why I made that statement. I didn't revisit why I made that statement. But the things I went to talk with him from the issue of that could show him that no, I am the one that need the help of where this person is coming from.
So, yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
That is one. Then the second one is this. I met somebody and he was asking me how can I describe this help for him to understand? I said, okay. If I say help is not assistance, I said, okay. Let's say you are supposed to be going to, the illustration I used then was you're supposed to be going to Ogoni. Let me use that same illustration. You're supposed to be going to Ogoni. And in that Ogoni land, there's a fight going on the road, along the road. And there's a killing going on. Based on the fight, the community are fighting and there are killings. Now, you plan to go there, but you do not have transport. Then along, as maybe in your compound, somebody help you to give you 5,000
60, yes.
to go to Ogoni. For you, you have help because somebody has assisted you by giving you 5,000 naira to go to Ogoni. Now, as you were going, maybe you have reached maybe Eleme Junction by oil mill, and somebody now, you met somebody and the person now tell you, no, where are you going to? He said, I'm going to Ogoni. He said, no, don't go there. There is a lot of killing going on there. Please make sure you turn back from here and you make a U-turn. Are you following me? You make a U-turn. I asked the person, between the person that gave you 5,000 and the one that just gave you a piece of information there, who is the one that helped you?
Yes.
He said it straight that the person that gave me information is the one that helped me.
But in that instance, they are all men.
But now, that is an illustration of man. Now, we are talking about a foundation that men are towing without knowing. A life that we all are living without knowing what is at the end of it. Which we keep using here. Destruction is our motto that we don't know.
Yes.
So, the person now that we intervene to remove us from that road is the one that is called help. I don't know whether somebody can understand what I'm trying to explain here.
They should.
That's where I was trying. That's where I was trying to get to. That's to make everything brief and clear. That's for me. That's how I see it and understand it to be very brief and clear. Is that as we are talking about assistance, based on the illustration you gave, you could see how clear the discrepancy between the both of them are.
Yes.
Between assistance and help. And I'm saying now, based on what we have come to understand, that assistance dwells with men.
Yes.
And the assistance that dwells with men is what we as men call help. And from what Brother Kufre described as well, say that is that assistance that we give to one another that we call help, that encourages each and every one of us to continue down a path that has been described as being destructive.
Yes.
He made an instance. Somebody's encouraging you to get married based on the system of man, not as it relates to the concept of God.
Yes.
And he's willing to assist you by giving you whatever funds you need to get into it. That's what men, that's what we see as help.
Yes.
But that's assistance. So with men, what we do is to assist and support one another down a destructive path. Yes. So I remember asking him, so what actually is help? And he tried to describe that help is God himself. Yes. That's because help comes in to take over. Help doesn't come to support or to assist you in what you're doing, just as he said. Help comes to take over. And you now get to see something actually, that help that we have attributed to God is coming in to do something. Yeah. Because everybody's talking about help of God, help of God, help of God. What is that thing God is coming to exhibit that is help? Yeah. Because with us now, when we talk about help, from what we have just talked about, you can get a picture of what our help is.
Yes. So
I need money for this. Somebody's there to support me. Yeah. I need this, I need that. Somebody's there to support me. I'm in a situation that requires one person or somebody's always there to assist me, to continue on that path that is destructive. And we don't know that path is destructive. Yes. So when we are crying about the help of God, only God can help. What is that help is coming to bring? Is a change. Yes. That's the help of God. Yeah. Because he's coming to change our life pattern, our states as men. He's coming to remove that dead state of man, to impute the life state of God. Yes. And when that is done, you now get to see help, because we would continue on that path that leads to destruction.
Yes. That is why our consciousness, the work of God begins from our consciousness. Yeah. Of changing our consciousness, what we have seen all our lives to be help. And this word help, from the concept of the ideology of man, is from prosperity. And that prosperity is increment in material possession, increment in money. That is what man sees help to be. Anybody that increases money to you, that gives you a lot of money, or gives you material possession, That is help. So now that we've been living like this all our life, and God is to come and help us, the first work is to remove our consciousness, because already we as men, we are fed up. A lot of us, we are fed up, we are tired. We are tired of the system. The system has failed us. The government has failed us. Our friends, our relatives, most of them that are rich have failed us, have disappointed us. So the only hope now is God. Do not forget that there is an inward pain in our hearts. There is a burden we carry. There is a load of the things we want to solve that is unsolved. We depended on the government, it has failed. We depended on friends, relatives, they have failed us. So now that our hope is only in God, God is to begin the process of letting us know that that material possession you want to acquire, the money you want in lots of volume, that you think is the way out, is even the problem in the first place.
Yes.
Because my help is divine. My help can only be interpreted by me. And my interpretation is that I am going to give you direction on how you ought to live your life, which is not how you were living your life before. What you have known as help all this while is not help. Yes. My help is not money. My help is not material possession. My help is how you ought to live my life, a free life that only me can show you how that can work. Okay. It is actually what you do not know how it will turn out to be, but I'm the only one that will make that life work, a life that you will have peace, peace that surpasses all understanding. I'm the only one that can make that work.
Okay, now haven't described all you have described. You are not just describing it to me, but there are people watching and listening to what we are saying. Yeah. The question now that should follow, which is the most important of all the questions, is if help can only come from God, and we have tried to describe what that help of God is, how do we get that help when we believe that God is in the sky? Because now you are talking about direction, giving you direction, implementation of a change in state. How do we get to be beneficiaries and parts of this change that only God has when he's in the sky?
Let's read Psalms chapter 121.
Before we go into that, from the question you just asked now, you see, if anybody that has been listening to us will understand what this podcast is all about.
Yes.
Because the reason of the question first is to, at least, is for somebody out there to get a claim of what this moment is all about. See, we are not here trying to let our world know how knowledgeable we are.
No.
You understand? Mm-hmm. But we are trying to pass a good news to our world, because first, if you look at the tears we keep sharing, our people are dying. Things are happening. We are wishing that things should be better. Mm-hmm. But no man has that capacity, because if truly we have help, that capacity will be there.
Yes.
Until the arrival of the person we keep talking about, that truly the things that have been worrying us, the things that is really worrying us, because we are not even worrying the thing. Those things that have been worrying us can now be calmed by the voice of one person.
Yes.
You know, the mystery of the help that we keep talking here is that help doesn't come from two persons.
No.
Today, look at the system that we have. We have the system of governance. And in the system of governance, we desire somebody whom we believe that if this person going in is going to be the one that will lead all of us. And that leading us is that as he's going there, he's the one that is going to help the situation. Yes. Now, the question we keep asking somebody out there is that if you believe that help can come from God alone, yes, and you believe that man can go into the system and become a leader and help you to bring that perfection from the system you are looking for, then you are confused. Yes. Now, if you now believe also that God is the only one that can help, and you don't believe that God needs to be a person in the midst of a people, you are also confused. The question is, what is your hope? Because if you have hope in God to come and help you, you need to understand the first thing is that God cannot help you from the sky. Yes. Just as we desire men or a man that we see and, oh, there is something in this man. If he goes there, he's going to put a change. That's something we are perceiving must be a spirit of God in the person. Yes. But at this instance, there is no man that has the spirit of God that is in the system. Because when you see the one that has the spirit, it's not in the system. Yes. It's outside the system, but men from the system are coming out to meet with him, to hear from him on how to correct their ways in order to enter into the system before the spirit can put a support. Because it's the spirit that it comes with that is manipulating everything. Yes. Every problem we are facing today, somebody need to understand that it's coming from the spirit of the Lord. The spirit of the Lord is not God. That is why I said that God is my helper. And the Lord is with them that uphold my soul. That's the way he put it. The Lord are with the people, which is all of us. But God is the person by whom the Lord has now brought to be the helper for everybody. Yes. These things has a significance. It's not a story. So we keep telling people here that the only way help can come from God is that God must be a person in our midst. We don't. How do you go to a war front and a written command is given to armies? That's army on the war, the soldiers on the war front. When would they know where to execute, where to call back, where to carry on their activities? That's why there is always a commander in every system that we set. The system of the governance has the person that is headed to be able to put a control to the people. So is the system of this world that God will come to run with men. Yes. He must be a person or have a head where he's going to station his spirit. You can call him whatever thing you call him. But you need to know that that spirit must live in a body of a person to be able to carry out that capacity that God as a spirit that you believe in has.
And to add to that, based on the help we are talking about here, say when it comes to man, the help that man has, when you render help to a fellow man to say his help, is when there's already problem. He's trying to solve it. But God is coming as help to show us a path that will eliminate the problems in order for us to have a life that will not depend on each other to assist. Yeah. So that is what makes God the helper.
That's why when he talked about men in the system coming out of the system to meet the person of God who is not in the system, to know how to live
in the system, to avoid problems,
to know how to live before they go back to the system and the Spirit gives his support. You now get to see where this word's coming to play. Yes. Help and support. Having described help as a change that occurs when the person of help, which is God, is on ground to implement that change in us. Yeah. So it's only when our state has been changed that he can give his support. Yes. So you now get to now see that the support he still gives, I mean that they still support still with God. Yeah. Whether it's support or you call it assistance or whatever.
To be able
but before you can even get that, which is his support, in order for anything you do to work, is that you have been helped by that change of state. I don't know if you are following following the thread I'm following.
That will not even be support.
Yeah, that's like I'm trying to tie it to what Brother Kufre said earlier. That is, people in the system have to come out of the system. Yes. To get to meet with the person of God. Yes. Or get to know his ways and know how that change,
live by his guide, which that is change what all of us are supposed to.
Yes. So you now get to see that the only way you can get the support of God, I'm using the word now, support. The only way you can get the support of God is after
you have been helped by him.
you are in a state that is acceptable to him.
Yes.
And the only way you can be in a state that is acceptable to him is when he has changed your state, worked on you, and changed your state from man to that spirit of God. Before he can give you support for anything you do in that state that is of him to work hand in hand. But what we need to understand is how those words apply. In practical terms.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember when we started, we said that we are going to be playing a video. But we said, let us use this time to talk about it, because we have watched the video by ourselves, and there's basically nothing that connects to the concept of God.
Yes, how to
all that has been said in the video is just what we as men know. But we said that we are going to be playing a video, so let's give our viewers that. We'll play the video, then we'll get back to whatever thing we have to say again. So hit play on the video.
Our objective is to understand the help of God. By way of introduction, God's help is the best help anybody can receive on the face of the earth. There are many people you know who can't help you. There are people who are present and cannot help. There are those who can help and are not present. God is the only one who is both present and he can help you. Have you ever lost anybody before, or somebody lost someone before? And the cry, the major cry, was not that the person was lost, even though that was part of the cry. But who will do for me what this person has been doing? So the person who can help you was no longer present. When my mother passed, we visited one of our big aunties. And she cried and cried and cried. And out of the cry, something busted out of her mouth unconsciously. He said, now that your mother is no more, will you people continue to do for me what she was doing for me? What you were doing through her to me? We say, don't be worried, ma. It will continue. Even more. So, you come to times when the person who can help maybe is no longer present. Or maybe it's in a distance somewhere. Or the person who is present can do nothing for you. He's just around. He's doing nothing. It's available but not usable. Not relevant. But he said we have a God who can help and who is also present. He's dieless. He's changeless. He's limitless. He can't expire. He's unintimidated by age, unimpressed by time. Take note of the following things I'm about to say about the help of God.
You see, if you watch what we do as the help that we give to one another, it means when we are no more to be found, the helper is dead. Not so.
Yes.
That is the helper now. Your helper is dead. The one that has come to help you, the one that has been helping you, is dead though. So you are still alive, or your helper is dead. That shows you that we are not qualified to be called helper. Because the only helper is God. And it says something that the helper is always present. It cannot be intimidated by age. We have said here, or time, we have said here that the presence of that spirit in the vessel of the person that will form God in the midst of a people is to bring what is called life is life. Life in the person. It doesn't go anywhere. Those are the mystery that humanity are yet to experience, as we keep saying here. So you see somebody in the midst of a people are growing old, the person is growing young. Is younger, getting younger every day. Have we not experienced that? We that are even seeing the person, we are getting old. If not by the presence of that is voice now that is trying to return some of us. You understand? Those are the mystery that we need to understand. That the person of God, that person of God, and when we use the word the person of God, we are talking about God as a person in the midst of a people. Yes. You know, these are English that we speak, the person of God, but we don't understand what it means. So anybody that is hearing that, the person of God, we are talking about God in the midst of a people, but as a person that men or those that will contact him, see him one-on-one and experience that face-to-face change, encounter that will change them for the sake of the rest. Those are the things that we need to understand. And that person doesn't work with time. God is not here to walk, to look time. What is the hour now? Last year has passed. This year is 2023. Those are the things we are being experienced, because that counting that we keep counting are the reason why we keep dying. Because when you don't have anywhere you are going, you see, you are counting time. But because God asks where he's taking everybody to, he asks you to remove your mind from time and work with what you are seeing now, while you deal with whatever thing that will come next. So that is what everybody needs to understand, that statement there show you that this person is a being in the midst of a people. Yes. That age cannot tamper with, doesn't affect. Can't you see that? Because it's the mystery of that spirit, that word that comes to him to make God, that bring the transformation that men will see and know that no, this is an extraordinary being in the midst of a people.
And if you to add to what you are saying, though I wasn't there, just came back, but I've already watched the video concerning the things he described, what the help of God looks like. If there has been any man on earth that has encountered that kind of help, because we have not seen yet, to show that we know how this thing is supposed to be, does not mean that we have the capacity to make them happen. It is only the one that is help, and it has to be present with us. These things are not things you describe as if it's not going to happen here. If it must happen here, that person must be on ground to make this thing work, because we have been living in assumption of God is the one that helps us. But the situation, the condition we see ourselves, we don't see that kind of help with us. So
we are going there. Let us eat up the video, because I paused it to say something based on what he was saying there. Let's proceed.
Number one, God's help. Say it this way. The help of God is the only help you can count on in times of trouble. He says he is the very present help in the time of trouble. The only help you can count on. Someone said that in prosperity, your friends know you. But it is in adversity that you know who is your friend. And he is that friend that sticketh closer than the brother. The help of God is the only help you can count on for sure in times of trouble. Secondly, the help of God is the cure for the fear of evil. Therefore, shall we not fear? Will we not fear? Therefore, will we not fear? He's a very present help in time of trouble. Therefore, will we not fear? The help of God is the cure for the fear of evil. When God is helping you, there is not a mortal man under heaven to fear. There is not a demon to fear. There is not a witch to fear. There is not a wizard to fear. There is not a calamity to fear. the cure for the help of evil. Thirdly, the help of God is the shield from the hurt of the enemy. From the hurt of the enemy. No devil can hurt whom God is helping. No witch, no wizard, no force from hell can hurt the man God has helped. For though the mountains should swell, even though the earth be removed, we are unshakable and unmovable, unharmable. The help of God is the shield from the heart of the enemy. Number 4, the help of God is key to victory in battle. Psalm 89 verse 90. 89 verse 19. Then thou speakest in vision to thy Holy One and sayest, I have laid help upon one that is mighty. That word mighty is the word warrior, gibor, upon a warrior. God's help is key to victory in battle. You can't be helped of God and be a loser in life. You can't be helped of God and be a loser in the battles of ministry, the battles of marriage, the battles of finance, the battles of your destiny, the battles of your career. You cannot be helped of God and be a victim in battle. Finally, the help of God is key to the health of man. Health. The help of God is key to the health of man. Health.
All he has just said is what we all have known and tried to live by before now. How when a man has been helped from God, no trouble, no this, no that, but all of us are still in trouble in different varieties of trouble, different magnitudes and everything. But in all he has said, there's a truth to it, but he's not the truth because he can't make those things work.
Yes.
Because when you say that a man who has been helped by God and he outlined the things that shouldn't be a limitation to someone who has been helped by God, it's true. That's how it should be. But we're not talking about finances because God is not coming to give you money because he doesn't operate with money. Yes. He's not coming to make your marriage work, the human marriage, because that is not the kind of marriage he's talking about. But basically, the concept of someone who has been held by God is removed from any situation that would
harm him.
That could harm him or make him a casualty. Yeah. So everything he has said there is the way it is. But just as we said earlier before we got to the video, that you can say all these things, but you must have to achieve the help of God before you can get to be in a situation whereby you are no longer a casualty, whereby you are not in any situation that could turn out to be harmful to you. Yes. You have to get the help first before that can happen. Then that's how we talked about how to get the help of God, and that the help of God can only come when God is on ground.
Yes. Let me come in a bit here. You know, there is something that somebody need to understand out there. Somebody will say the help of God makes you not to be in any casualty. And if you watch this world, there are some people who doesn't have any casualty. Don't think that because you have defined the help of God as somebody who cannot, when he's there, you don't have casualty. So those who doesn't have casualty have the help of God. Who told you that?
Nobody did.
Because I'm saying this, somebody that is there will know that, oh, I don't have any casualties, things I want. So it means I have the help of God.
But you
do not have the help of any God. Because there is no help anywhere to any man. Except now. Before you can have the help of God, you first have God. First. So nobody should say because I do not have any casualty. I met somebody that told me my sister never sick.
But she died.
She just died. Listen, man as a whole, we as man, keep us one place, feed us well, we will die.
Even with that
That is
sickness.
because we do not have help.
Yes.
That is what anybody need to understand. So help is where life dwells.
Yes.
And help is with God. When God comes to bring that is help, it's not just casualty. Because we keep talking about when you are in trouble, that's when you call on the help of God. Who told you that the help of God brings somebody out of trouble?
Is there to be solving problem for you anytime
God does not come to solve problem for you. God comes to eliminate the situation that cause problem for mankind as a whole.
Which is our nature of man.
So when, there's something he said he quoted Psalm 89, verse 19. If you listen to everything we have been saying here, not just in this forum, in most of the forums that we keep talking about, the personality that has the power to free us, both corruption, whatever thing that the problem of humanity. The challenge of humanity is a design from the Spirit of the Lord. And it's pre-planned that only God in the midst of them can help them. That is us. So when God is in our midst, that is when we can have help. And that God is a person that must speak to us, and we listen to him, and things go free. That is the person which is the one that the scripture is talking about. I have laid help upon ones. So help is that spirit of the Lord that has come to free humanity from their trouble.
Yes.
And that spirit is given to one person. That person is the one with the help.
Yes.
That person is the one with the help. So the Lord is the one that is saying, that spirit is the one that put the design. I have laid help upon one. Yes. So humanity help will come from one.
Yes.
It's not two.
Yes.
So now you can know from that small scripture that help is not with any man.
Yes.
Help is with that one.
You can't have helpers.
Even in Genesis.
So the man that is assisting you, they are just giving you assistance. But let us read something about this assistance that we are getting from men. Let's go to Isaiah 31, verse 1 to 3.
Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord.
Hold it first. Let me say something briefly there before we proceed. We keep talking about the Lord and God.
Yes.
The Holy One is the person, that is the person in the bodily form, by whom the Spirit would design to give men, to help men. But the Lord is the one working this mystery. That's what you are seeing there.
Yes.
So the Lord that we're supposed to seek ye the Lord while he may be found, means the only way humanity can get God in their midst or have the Lord, which is the Spirit, is when a body is provided for that Spirit to dwell in.
Yes.
That is the reason why we go to men we call preachers, because we believe that Spirit is in them. But look at our exhibition. When we go there, they tell us, let us invite the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit is supposed to be in the body of the person. That is holy, before you can get anything done. So I'm taking time to put this for somebody out there to understand. What we are talking about here is that without the presence of the person with the Spirit of God, things can never work.
Yes.
So this is the person that we are supposed to listen to before we can get any help. But he said, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Who are the Egyptians? Who are the Egyptians? Let's go and see what the Bible is written about. Not talking, because the Bible doesn't talk.
Yes.
Yet,
Verse 2.
verse 2, yet he also Yet he also is wise, and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers, and against the help of them that walk iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men, and not God, and their horses flesh, and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is helped shall fall down, and they all shall fall together.
Fell together. Open.
You see,
Fail together.
I don't want to go far. Everything we keep saying here is that we try to bring to our world a notice, a kind of a good news that there is the breath of the Spirit in a person. That is all we are here for.
Yes.
And every of the things that is coming to warn us, most of those activities that we are not supposed to be a partaker of, we are not supposed to be involved in, which is the reason why we are having the problem, is the things that the person is coming to remove us from. So when he's sounding a warning to let us know, these are not the things you're supposed to do. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, and we are playing with it. The Spirit is the one now that will rise in anger against man. Yes. When he refused to listen to the voice of the person that he chose in their midst to represent him. Let me use that word.
Yes.
Even though that spirit doesn't have a representative.
He's himself.
He's himself.
So he shows you that Egyptians are men and not God. So every man on the face of the earth that is trying to help one another is just a man. So you can't be a helper.
Yes.
And our horses are flesh, not the spirit. That is the things we run with. Is flesh. You can't even say man has a spirit. Because it's only one that is a spiritual one, that person. So that is what everyone needs to understand, because today we are getting assistance from people and we are thinking it's help. Somebody help you to travel abroad in order to go and do whatever thing that doesn't connect to the Spirit of God, your creator, and you think that is help.
That is the consciousness I'm talking about, because it is a burden in the heart of humanity. There is what we as men know help to be. We grew up with that consciousness. So that is the first thing that the Spirit has to. There is a place I wanted to read, Psalms chapter 121, about this help too. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. Brother Kufre was talking about the Lord, the Lord, the Lord. The Lord is that one that will bring God to come and help us. He said, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. He said, my help cometh from the Lord, not who maketh. He said, which made heaven and earth. Genesis chapter 1 verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. The other place talked about the Lord, because the help must come from the Lord. Mm-hmm. But the Lord cannot implement that help in our world without God.
And God has
so
to
the
be a
one
person
who will make heaven is the Lord. That is why that place put which made heaven. Because it is when the Lord has provided heaven, which is God, that God will now make the earth. I'm talking about how spiritually the help of man was programmed to come to be with us. we are earth, meaning we as men, we do not have the Spirit of God. So we are void, we are empty. The body without the Spirit of God signifies earth. There is no life. There is no God. So it is God now that will begin that work of making the earth. So the Lord is the one that will make God to now make the earth. That is only when there will be life in the body of man. And that is the help. That is only when we will now see what light is, because we have been living in darkness as programmed by the Lord. He said, when I lift up, I look at men to help me, there is no help. I look at the government, the system, there is no help. I look at my relatives, rich relatives, that I see that they can help me, they cannot help me. And my last bus stop is God. So God is the one that will help us by giving us life.
What help do you expect your brother to help you?
I'm talking about the consciousness of what we are, our viewers watching, we see help to be.
You know why I'm asking? You know, there are some people that would say, all these years I've been looking up to my brother to help me.
There are some that are helping me, according to their help.
But it is clear that your brother cannot help you. If your brother let him give you 20 million, that has nothing to do with help.
Yes.
Exactly.
From everything you are saying now, it shows clearly that help is not even what our brothers can offer us.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So for us not to go for is the reason why I chip in that. Because somebody need to understand, so that you don't think that because you have brothers who can give you money and buy cars for you, they are helping you. Vanity upon vanity, that is what he said.
All is vanity.
All is vanity.
That's where I wanted to.
We said this.
We still have another session that we can do most of those.
We said the discussion was going to be brief, but remember, I've always said that when we sit down to talk like this, it's very difficult to curtail what we have to say, because it's too much. It's plenty, and even if we give ourselves all the time in the world, we can't exhaust everything that has to be said, because we ourselves are still involved in it, still learning, still trying to put ourselves into the practice. So we all are still learning. So even if we sit here and keep talking and keep talking and keep talking, we won't stop. So, but for I won't say for time, but for the sake of things that I can't mention, because I don't know what the things are, I would say let us call it a wrap. That whatever thing we would have to say as it relates to help, we would have to do it in another session.
Yes.
And basically look at it from a different angle from what you just introduced, because it's become necessary now that we look at help from that angle. Because you can visit Genesis and you see that after God had made man, supposedly
Male
from
and
the
female.
writing, male and female,
There were two.
down the line, he's now saying that it's not good that man should be alone. Yeah. And the question is, how is man alone when he's already a pair of male and female?
Yes.
You see, so these are things we need to touch. So imagine us getting into that angle now at this moment. You see, it's very difficult to exhaust all we have to say. So I would just say that for anybody watching us, that is something you should look forward to, that angle of help that Brother Savior introduced. So I would likely say that we call it a wrap on this particular session. And as usual, if you have inquiries, questions you need some answers to, kindly send us an email via the addresses on your screen. I will be sure to get back to you. And for those of you who wish to join our sessions, our live sessions, you can indicate that in your mail, and we'll establish a video link to have you join us via any video streaming platform, be it Zoom, Google Meet, or Skype. Be rest assured, this procedure doesn't require any monetary charge. All you need is your access to the internet, and you can get to be with us. So on that note, we say bye till we come your way next time.